are thrilled to have received the wonderful inputs from our colleagues about the particular needs they have for our courses for 2022. So we had extremely valuable and insightful input around which we could structure our programs. Seeing that our programs are directed at providing the support teachers so desperately need. So it is important that we consult with our teachers, that we consult with our school management teams around the particular issues we can shape our programs around. So feel welcome, one and all protocols observed, and please join us in aligning our work with the specific needs of the school management teams in terms of your understanding, in terms of your observations. What would your schools need from us? So thank you for joining us, and please be engaged and give a feedback in the discussion so that we can use that information in our work. And thank you very much, Novosti, for putting this together and for chairing this process. Thank you very much, Novosti. Over to you.
Okay, thank you, Zarina. I see there is one SMT member who just sent me an email saying they are struggling to join. Did anybody else struggle to join? Okay, no. Younger, I'm going to forward you this email. Can you respond to them?
Okay, no problem.
Okay. Mr. Hindley's hand is raised.
Hi there.
Good day, sir.
I just joined the meeting, but I didn't register. Is there anywhere where I can sign an attendance register or something like that?
Yes. Kindly take down this number.
So let me just get the pin. Is it 071?
Yes.
920 2804.
Yes.
Okay.
Then Younger will send you a register to this session. Okay. All right. Thank you. Then having mentioned that, for those who haven't met Zorina, so Dr. Zorina Dase is our director at PSP. She's the one who just welcomed us. And with us, there is some of our colleagues as well. Florence is here, who is a foundation phase facilitator. Sandra is also here, who is a foundation phase and NST grade 4 to 7 facilitator. Who else is here?
Okay. Lisa, can you put the number on again, please?
All right. So for those who just joined us, for the register, you can send us a WhatsApp text to 071 290 2804. All right. We will start. We will share the number again midway and at the end of the session. All right. Seeing that we only have an hour, 30 minutes, we will start. Let me just put my presenter view here. All right. All right. So PSP has continued to support teachers and schools despite all the challenges which were brought by the pandemic in 2020 through into 2021. We have done so through training courses and supporting teachers in the classroom as part of the mentorship and the coaching that we do. I'm certain that some schools which are here will know of the facilitators that do come to the schools, either monthly for the joint mentorship project, or that come termly for our so-called cluster project support. Then just to give you a brief review of the year 2021, we were fortunate enough and blessed enough to be able to run about 150 course activities through 2021 with teachers, which summed up to a total of more than 500 course hours. We were also able to do more than 400 school support activities in 2021. It's coming to a total of more than 1,400 support hours. Then we also managed to reach more than 1,700 teachers from more than 300 schools in our activities. And for the first time in history, we were fortunate enough to be able to work with teachers from all 9 provinces of the country. Then, so basically those are the numbers that we are looking at. Let me just put my laser. So the reason why we are here, the courses that we will offer in 2022 for the SMTs, it's courses that we had prior the pandemic. Unfortunately, since we were still trying to find our feet in 2020, we could not proceed with the SMT courses in 2020. In mid-2020 into 2021. But in 2022, we wish to bring that aspect back. So those courses fall under the core innovation project. As you will see that it seems to be the course that actually had the most number of teachers benefiting. Out of that total that I just shared, more than 1,000 teachers were actually reached under that innovation project. Is there anything you wish to add, Zorina, Florence?
Only that this, the innovation project forms the bedrock of all of our work. So any learnings that develop in the innovation project in response to teachers' needs feeds into all our other work as well. And it is the one project where we don't begin with assumptions of what teachers need. We begin with the consultation process in terms of understanding the true needs within the school and then working from that as a basis. Hence the importance of this session to as a foundation for our work for next year.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Zarina. Then just to give you a glimpse into our reach. So as mentioned, we managed to reach schools from across all 9 provinces in 2020. Most of the schools coming from the Western Cape, then followed by Gauteng. There were 14 schools, and KwaZulu-Natal 8 schools, and Northern Cape, there were 7 schools from there, and Mpumalanga, there were 3 schools, Northwest 2 schools, Limpopo 2 schools, Eastern Cape and Free State, we had a single school from those 2 provinces each. Then that comes to the total of the 320 schools that we've made mention of. We've got a hand up from Dexter Fisher. You can unmute your microphone. Dexter Fisher. You can go ahead, your hand is up. We can't hear you. Okay, maybe it was a mistake. I'm going to mute Dexter. Then he will unmute himself or herself again if it wasn't a mistake. All right. Then we'll come to the next section, which Florence, Zorina, do you want to speak to that or should I go ahead?
So the three essential components of PSP's work or support of teachers is to provide a tiered level of support. One level is the training courses, which focuses on curriculum and how do you understand the content for the curriculum, as well as appropriate methods of teaching that particular content to a particular grade. So it's matching the content with the methods to the learners or the learner needs. The second tier of support is following the teachers into the class and supporting the implementation of innovative and creative teaching methods by teaching or working alongside teachers. So in this, with regard to classroom support, we prefer team teaching, where the teacher teaches part of the lesson and we teach part of the lesson so that we can observe and each other's methodology and way of teaching, and then follow that up with reflection on what have we learned, what do we need to strengthen further. So it is an intensive level of support for teachers. And here it's about institutionalizing the methods we support through PSP, which is practical, hands-on, language integrated or focused teaching across all the subjects, but our key focus areas are languages, English and Afrikaans and Xhosa, as well as mathematics and natural sciences and technology. The third level or tier of support we provide to teachers is that we collate all our learnings into handbooks that we provide our content learning as well as our methodology, and we also share with teachers other children's work to show or prove that these lessons can happen and children respond appropriately. So that is the three-tiered level of support we provide to teachers: training workshops, classroom support, and resources with practical ideas for teaching. Remember, our focus is on improving the teaching in the classroom daily. And to achieve that, we believe a tiered approach is more effective in accomplishing that objective.
Okay, thank you, Zarina. Then speaking to what Zorina has just mentioned, so that's the graphic shows basically what Zorina has just mentioned. We do offer us courses that focus on subject content knowledge and methodology, being activity-based, and also those are supported by courses that are generic, either teacher courses, as well as generic SMT courses. The combination of those and these basically ensure effective curriculum implementation, which is the main objective. But at the heart of it, it is to promote children's learning through effective teaching. Then looking at that graphic, PSP strives to offer a holistic approach to teacher professional development. Okay. Then coming to the first activity of the day. So I hope you have looked at your draft school improvement plans, or you do have a copy of it with you. So the first activity we are going to do is, I want us to think about curricular or curricular support related topics that are on our school improvement plans, which were identified as areas of development for 2022 for your school. I will now relate you to the link that you have received in the SMS, in the reminder SMS that you received today, where there was a mentee.com link, which was written, we will utilize this during the session. Okay. So in the first slide that I'm going to put up, we will then share the curricula or any topics that support the curriculum. Then we will suggest those. Then separately, we will put up another different slide using the same link, where we will then indicate non-curricular topics. For example, things like managing discipline within the school. So those, we would classify them as non-curricular related topics. Then things like teaching maths in grade 4, that's curricular. Things like support with interventions, that's curricular support topics. Okay. So you can either scan the QR code or you can click on the link, which is on the SMS that says Mentee survey, in brackets says to be used during the session. Then I will put up the slide now. Hold on a moment. Okay. Oh, I'm too late. There's already responses in there. Wow. Okay. So before we even started, there's already a responses. Thank you, colleagues, for being so proactive. Okay. So let's state in that, through that link, curricula and curricular support related topics. Which are on your school improvement plans that you would love to get support on in 2022. Let's try to focus more on issues that affect us as the SMTs. But you can put teacher aspects as well. But I will be sharing with you what the teachers have already requested for. As Zorina mentioned, we had the Teachers Annual Mass Planning Forum about 2 weeks ago. Try to keep it as brief, the statements as brief as possible. 1 word, 2 words, 3 words max, if you can. I'll give us about 2 more minutes, just in case some of us still need to browse through the school improvement plans. We still have quite a small proportion of people having responded. Let's have more people responding. You can go to the SMS reminder that you received. All right, I will mute everybody for now. You can unmute if you need to say something. If you did not receive the SMS reminder this morning, you can just go to www.mentee.com and push that.
Where we now? Are we here? Where are they? You know, must I be muted here?
Yes, please. For those that joined us, the activity that we are still busy with is, if you look at the SMS reminder that you received today, there is a link, which is a mentee.com link. You can just click on that link and state your key, I would say top 5 curricular or curricular support related topics that you wish PSP could do an SMT course on in 2022. If it's already on the screen, please do mention it again if it's part of your thoughts, so that we can see which of those actually comes up the most number of times. Like we can tell, differentiation is one of key topics which SMTs would love support with, how to support the teachers to achieve that. If the word is already, or the phrase is already on the screen and it resonates with you or your team, please do put it in the list again, so that this word cloud can help us identify the ones that come up the most number of times. Then we'll prioritize those.
I'm looking for the link, please. I've not
Okay.
received the link.
So if you did not receive a reminder SMS, you can just go to your cell phone browser or to your laptop browser and type www.menti.com. Then it's going to request for a code. Then put 4790-7579. Then you would leave your responses in there. There is still quite a low number of responses.
Sorry, sir, can you repeat that again, please?
If you did not receive a reminder SMS, which has the menti.com link today, then you can just go to your cell phone browser or your tablet or your laptop browser, type www.menti.com. It's gonna ask for a code. Then for the code, you put 4790-7579. It's the number at the top of the screen.
Thank you, sir.
You are welcome. We still have quite a small proportion of the participants who have responded. If the word or the phrase is already on the screen and it resonates with you, please repeat it again so that it can get bolder as a much requested aspect. It will help us prioritize from all the requests that have been put forward. If any of those resonates with you, please put it up again as part of your responses. We still have quite a small proportion of the total number of participants who have responded. There is more than 100 of us in here, and only 40 something have responded. Let's contribute, colleagues, so that PSP courses in 2022 speak to your needs. We will have 3 courses, one in term 1, one in term 2, one in term 3. But how we'll get to prioritize those will be based on your personal response that you put forward here. Like already we see that discipline is one of the main requested aspects. Then there is differentiation, diversity coming up next. And we've got classroom management also getting bolder.
Planning.
So if that resonates with you, please put it again, even if it's already on the screen. If it was suggested by somebody else and it resonates with you, please do say it in your responses.
How can we add?
Okay, let's spend about a minute more because this is going to spell our way forward. So we need to give it enough chance. Okay, there's still more responses coming in. Then if you can be as specific with some of the things, please be as specific and keep your input as short as 1, 2, or 3 words. Okay, I think we do have quite a significant number of responses to work with. More than 70 of us have responded, which is about 3/4. More than 3/4 of us. All right. It has stopped moving. It seems like we have exhausted our input. Okay, there's still a few more coming in. All right, let's spend these few seconds for those who haven't submitted, who are still typing, to press submit before we move on to the next slide. We've got more than 80 of us who have responded, which is quite a good indication of our needs. Right. I see quite a good number of non-curricular related support topics already in here. So perhaps we can just do the next slide here within the same slide as well. So you can put your non-curricular related topics in here as well. Okay, seeing that already some of you had already included those. If it's already mentioned by somebody else and it resonates with you, please do put it in your response as well, so that the word cloud can help us decide on the most requested topics. Indicate curricular support, and non-curricular topics all in the slide, seeing that some of you had already mentioned the non-curricular support topics in here. That's okay. If the phrase or the word has already been mentioned by somebody else and it resonates with you, please do write it into your responses and submit it again. I'm aware the slide says curricular or curricular support only. We were going to go on to non-curricular, but you can mention non-curricular aspects as well in here, since some of you had already mentioned them. Yeah. You see quite interesting, quite an interesting trend coming up there. It's quite an interesting trend. Okay. Do we still need more time? Okay. So basically all the bold words are the words that had the most number of hits. If a word is already there and it resonates with you, but it was raised by somebody else, please include it in your responses as well. All right, I think we can work with what we have received so far, seeing that we are time pressed. Thank you so much for everybody who has contributed. We had more than 115 people responding out of 130. So there's only about 15 people who did not submit their responses, which is quite insignificant. So we hope this expresses your voice. Then just by looking at our screen there, it seems like the most number of hits that came up include, what's the most bold word or phrase in our word cloud? You can unmute your microphone.
Looks like discipline.
It looks like discipline.
Yeah.
Okay. We will spell that further out to come up with the core points of the course. And what's our second prominent word or phrase?
Classroom management.
Classroom management, yeah.
Classroom management. We will tease it out as well. Then what's our third most prominent?
Resources.
Resources. Okay. What else?
Subject improvement.
Subject improvement. Okay. I'm sure we're thinking maths, language.
Yeah. Parental involvement is also
Parental involvement.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then leadership.
Then perhaps one more, which is leadership. Okay. All right. Then I think from those, we can put together about 3 courses, one for term 1, one for term 2, one for term 3. Then should the need be really overwhelming in term 1, perhaps we could make it 2 courses in term 2 and 2 courses in term 3. Each course is a 2-hour course. Okay. or perhaps we could make it 4 hours if the request is quite overwhelming to be fit into a 2-hour time slot. So I think basically those are the ones. Can we take one more? We've got parental involvement, we've got leadership, we've got discipline, we've got resources, we've got classroom management, we've got subject improvement. One last phrase or word?
Moderation.
Moderation.
Yeah.
Okay. It's one of the most bold ones, ne?
Yeah.
Okay. Moderation. All right. So I think those 2, 4, 6, 7 could get us somewhere. All right. Then having mentioned those, let me just quickly exit here. Having mentioned those, so we won't make use of this second slide. I will delete it. Because we have put all our curricular and non-curricular topics all within this one slide. Curricular support. We've got non-curricular related topics. Okay. Then I will delete this second slide here. There we go. Then what I will do is I need to import one of the other slides that I was going to send as a different link. Right, that was about ranking. Actually, we've already done that. So copy to another presentation. All right, I have to first come here. These are all free tools that teachers can actually make use of in the classroom. All right, I will take that. I'll copy it into this one. Okay, before I do that, let me just quickly ensure that I don't have more than enough number of slides. This one I can, where's that? This one. All right, I will first export results just as backup. You never know what can happen with technology. We don't want to lose all that. All right, I've pulled out a copy. I'll save it as an image. All right, then what I will do is I will then delete that empty slide. Then I'll go to the next one, which is this one. And unfortunately, with 3 things, we are only.
Sorry, Nabosti, Luiso's hand is up. Could we perhaps give him an opportunity
Yes,
while you
please.
are inserting that? Luiso, you can give it a go.
Yes, ma'am. I can't see your slides, eh?
Can you see my screen?
Even you now, I can't see you now. I can't see anything. It's my laptop.
It's your network. Can I request that everybody switches off their camera? Zwelihle, can you switch off your camera as well? To switch off your camera, you can click on the camera icon on your screen. It's the 4th icon. Okay, there you go. All right. Can you see my screen now, sir?
No, sir. I think I have to change the place, sir. No, I can't see anything. Eh?
You can't see anything?
Yes, my computer is blank.
Are you on your Teams screen right now?
Let me see.
Make sure that your Teams screen is the one that you are looking at, not other documents on your laptop.
Oh, okay. Okay, thanks.
Can you see my screen now?
Okay, I will try to find out. Okay, thanks.
All right. To find your team screen, you can go to the bottom taskbar, the purple T if you opened it from your app, or go to your browser if you opened it from the browser and go to the tab which has got the meeting. It will have a purple color as well. Okay. You can send us a WhatsApp text to that 071 number and Yanga will assist you on the side. Okay. All right.
Okay,
So
very much. Thanks.
Done that, the next part that we are going to do is this part here. So we have, I'll put it on full screen. So we have already suggested both topics for curricular and curricular support topics, and we have also suggested non-curricular related topics. The next slide was for us to look at the curricular and curricular support slide, which now remember they are combined. We gave all our input all at once. Then from that, we were going to identify which topics do we feel we need priority support on, which we have already also done by looking at the bold words or phrases, as they are the ones that came up the most number of times. Then having said that, our next activity is to confirm if we all agree that we could put up courses on the following. By looking at that, what's the one aspect that we should do? Definitely consider doing an SMT course on, so that the SMTs, as SMTs, we can be able to support the teachers. Discipline seems to have came up quite a number of times. Can we agree that one of the courses must be on discipline?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. Sorry, the other gentleman first.
Okay. I think you wanted to say yes, we can.
Yes. Then also, can some of the responses or people who put up discipline explain or elaborate more about the discipline? Is it discipline for learners? Is it the whole school discipline? Is it the follow-up of discipline? Yes, what specifically about that could be included within the workshop? Because these guidelines are important for the facilitator who will present the course.
Anybody can unmute their microphone and spell out more. What about discipline did you have in mind? Anybody, you can unmute your microphone.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
I'm Mrs. Mans from Lugamka Primary. For me, discipline would be if there can be a course on not only disciplinary procedures, but also positive discipline in reinforcement in the classroom.
Lovely. Positive reinforcement of discipline.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Then what did the others have in mind when we say discipline? You can unmute your microphone, colleagues, to give input. All right.
I think we really do need that discipline in the classrooms.
Discipline in the classroom.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And anybody else who wants to further elucidate on what aspect of discipline are we referring to? All right. So still seeing that we are still on the discipline aspect, this is what came up from the teacher's perspective. Let me just quickly put up that. I think it was here. Where is that? Not that. Here. Okay. So you'll see that there was one topic which had to do with discipline. So then I strategies. No. Managing. Not that. Let me put up one aspect that had to do with discipline from what the teachers requested. All right. Here it is. What you see here is basically what came out from the teacher annual mass planning forum, which was 2 weeks ago. It came as a follow-up to a survey that was sent, and 247 teachers responded to that survey, which was the total number of all the people who responded to that survey. And there was a request on a topic that has to do with discipline, which was developing values in your classroom, which speaks closely to what Mem just mentioned now about positive reinforcement, which also speaks to proactive discipline management rather than reactive correction of discipline problems. Okay. So we will also put in place a course for the SMTs on how to manage that at school level. Then we'll have a separate one with the teachers on how to manage that within the classroom. Okay. Do we agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. So that's one, develop values. All right. How many of us are from schools outside the Western Cape? You can just show by raising your hand. There is a button that you can click on to raise your hand on your screen. Can you look up how many people have their hands up, Florence? All right, we have one person.
There's only 2 hands up thus far.
2 hands up. Okay, lovely stuff. The reason why I asked that is because the WCD has been proactively driving the values-driven approach for quite a good number of years. So basically, we'll be reinforcing on that in the course that will. Okay. All right. Then coming to the next one, which is classroom management. Do that. With classroom management, what are we referring to by classroom management? It was one of the most requested topics. Can we be more specific as to what the course should focus on? Or perhaps as a hint, when we say classroom management, are we talking about what goes onto the walls, perhaps, in the classroom?
Or is it planning and organizing teaching, organizing the learners, types of classroom activities, keeping record of the books, children's how much children put into their books. So there's a lot administration as well. So the lot goes into how you manage your class. We
So
need
is
some
it
specifics.
seating arrangements.
Yes.
Can we be more specific? Anybody can unmute their microphone and say. What is it that teachers at your school are actually struggling with, which you feel you need support so as to support them with? Or what is it that you've been struggling with as the SMT with regards to classroom management so that PSP can put together a course to support you?
There was a teacher, yes.
I think on my side, for the teachers, how to manage the classroom, because some teachers, it's difficult to manage the classroom. They don't know how to handle the learners. If, for instance, they've got 40 or 45 kids in a class, they are struggling. You'll see that there's a noise, the class is haphazard. So I don't know how can we help the teachers who's having a problem like that.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that, ma'am. So that's one of the things. What else did we have in mind when we raised classroom management? So ma'am has said how to best handle 45 learners as an example, or how to best handle overcrowded classrooms.
Sorry, and the time management. The time management, yes. All the work and the short period of time we have.
All right. So is it mostly to do with time management with regards to the curriculum and the teaching of the curriculum,
Yes,
or is it time
yes.
management with regards to when it's break time, some teachers still keep learners longer, etc.?
No. It's the curriculum and the time management. All the work in a short time.
All right. Curriculum delivery.
I just also want to add more from the time management. Most of our teachers here in Federal Primary are novice teachers. So they are really struggling with time because now they are panicking. They say there's too little time for them. They need to teach, they need to submit all those administrations. So for them, really, they are stressing when it comes to time management. I think they really need that as well.
Oh, okay. And meeting
And the time is too short to capture all the things we need to, yes.
Okay. So I've taken 3 main points that have been raised. How to handle how to
also have something to say, Navosti. Uvam.
All right. Go ahead, ma'am. Please unmute your microphone. Ose.
Uvam, you can unmute your microphone, then you can respond.
Classroom management in the sense of we are working with learners who are on the different the differentiation between learners, the level of understanding of our learners. So how we are going to manage our classroom in that context.
Okay.
Okay, that's a big problem too, yes.
Different levels. All right. So that's basically has to do mainly with these things like differentiation and interventions.
Yes.
Yes, differentiation, interventions, and all those within the time that we have to work with the kids.
All right. Okay, thank you for that. So I've got about 4 points that I've put down here in front of classroom management, which is how to best handle 45 plus learners for overcrowded classrooms, time management with regards to curriculum planning and delivery, meeting deadlines, that's another one, then dealing with learners at different levels, then I put hashtag differentiation, hashtag interventions, etc. All right. So now that's plus or minus 2 courses that we have. We still have space for one more course, at least. So the next one that we had identified as a bold one, it was resources. Is resources bolder than parental involvement, or parental involvement is bolder than resources?
They look both the same to me.
Okay, which one do you prefer?
We can have one on the resources, a half one, and a half one on parental involvement. My suggestion.
Okay, so it's good that it's coming from Zorina because we had the budget for 3 2-hour courses. So if she's authorizing for the 4th one, it's my job.
I'm voting for the 4th one as well because my interest is, in meeting all the deadlines and helping the children and the discipline. We need parents involved. And when our parents, if I look at our communities, and colleagues, please feel free to correct me, but there's a less involvement of parents. And we find that we need to tap into that properly.
Huge challenge.
Yes, so that we get more parents involved, and that will help with the learning in the school. So that's just my humble opinion, and you can differ. Yes, there's a hand up, Navosti.
Yes, please go ahead, ma'am or sir. I can't see which hand is up. Can the person unmute their microphone? Oh, they have lowered their hand.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, Miss Magadu sent a text message in the chat box. She says, my mic won't unmute. Discipline in the classroom, as well as staff in terms of submitting on time, respecting protocol, and coming to school on time. Okay. So leading by example seems to be an issue there as well. All right, so I'll say C chat. I will add that. We'll take into consideration the points that you have made, Ms. Makatu. Thank you. Or it's Mr. All right. Noted. Anything else with regards to classroom management, or should we go to parental involvement as we started? So I think parental involvement is self-explanatory, colleagues. Do you agree, Zorina, that we can put the blurbs to it ourselves?
Yes, I can put the blurb to that.
Okay, lovely stuff. I'm skeptical muting everybody, but there is music playing on the background. If possible, that person can mute themselves. Because I want us to have this conversation. All right, I'm going to mute everybody, unfortunately. Then you will have to unmute yourself to say something. Okay, lovely stuff. So parental involvement is quite self-explanatory. We'll put together the wording for that course. So that's our 3rd course. Then, as Zorina has mentioned, what's going to be our 4th course? So 1 is discipline, 2 is classroom management, 3 is parental involvement. Then what's our 4th course, since Zorina said we can have a 4th one? In the list, we had put resources, we had put subject improvement, we had put leadership and moderation. What's one that we can choose from those?
So would it be teaching resources? Would it be learning resources? Would it be how to access resources available for free? Because we know we don't have a lot of budget or money available for resources. Using resources creatively in teaching. What kind of topics would be, because there's a multitude of topics really that we can fit into resources. How to make resources, how to compile your own resources, how to search the net for resources, what specifically would be required then?
or maybe as a compromise, as a suggestion, colleagues, is looking at resources and subject improvement. We could actually spare those aside for the SMT. I'll share just now why. And perhaps give priority to either leadership and or more moderation. Reason being, with subject improvement, we will be doing courses that with the teachers, which are subject specific courses. For example, if we do a course on living things with grade 4s, that particular course basically contributes to our subject improvement. When we do a course, let's say in maths, be it it's a foundation phase topic, etc., there will be aspects that will be shared that support the effective teaching and learning of that particular topic. Particularly, teachers have already suggested topics that have yielded quite poor results in the systemics, or topics that they struggle to teach. Okay, so we could spare subject improvement, then we'll deal with that when we do subject-specific courses. Then similarly with resources, when we do subject-specific courses, we normally would share on how the teacher could develop their own materials using accessible materials to develop their resources. So that as well, we could possibly choose to spare it, knowing that part of it is going to be done with the teacher courses. And perhaps prioritize something that's not going to be done at all with the teacher courses. It's just a suggestion, but it's for the team to decide. What do you think? You can unmute your microphone, colleagues. Do you have an input? And we have at least one person.
Can you maybe do the leadership course?
Okay. I think
just
yes,
because a lot of us are new at this, and there's a lot of phase leaders as well, and just handling conflict when you work with people and as part of your management for the time and the classroom, how you can handle or improve on your leadership skills while handling all the other areas as well.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am, for mentioning that. So I've put leadership, and as one of the main points under leadership, I've put handling conflict or conflict resolution. What else could we put under leadership?
Would moderation fall under that as one of the roles of leadership? And then there we can elaborate on what do you moderate, how do you give feedback, etc.
Okay. Do you agree, colleagues? All right. So we will infuse the moderation aspect under the banner of leadership, what expectations are from us as management. Okay. Then anything else that you wish to be covered could be covered in 2022 under leadership? Anybody can unmute their microphone. We have less than 30 minutes to wrap up.
What about goal setting?
Goal setting. Actually, that comes well because it would link also to your vision and mission.
Yes, because it's part of the leadership in where we had to take the rest of the teachers. So the training of teachers can also be part of leadership because the leader had to make sure that everybody is equipped at the end of the day.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, I'll put equipping stuff as well. Okay, I think that could make quite a good course on its own. Lovely stuff. So in a nutshell, the 4 main aspects that we have decided that we'll do a course on in 2022 will be 1, discipline. Number 2, classroom management. Number 3, parental involvement. Number 4, leadership. Then we said resources and subject improvement. We'll try to address those as part of the subject specific courses when we do subject courses with the teachers. Okay. Are we happy with that? Somebody say yes before we move on.
Yes.
Okay, lovely stuff. Then, so all that came from your input, as you could see from the word cloud. Okay. Then I'm gonna put up my presentation again so that we can go to the last parts of this activity. I'm just still sharing my PowerPoint. Hold on a moment. All right. Should these 4 courses be well attended in 2022, we will definitely have a good reason to justify for more than just 2 hours in a term. Okay. Or should the attendance be overwhelming in term 1? Perhaps we could justify for double the number of amount of time in term 2 and term 3 instead of just 2 hours. Okay. So our attendance to those courses we have asked for will determine how we move forward. Okay, so we have covered all the slides. Then coming to teacher support. Now, it's interesting looking at the topics. Okay, I'll just quickly mute everybody for a moment. It's interesting looking at the topics that have came up from the word cloud. So we won't be doing this again since already we saw some of the bold aspects. But what we will then do is we will share with you some of the topics that the teachers actually requested for in the survey, which was sent prior to the session that we had 2 weeks ago. Okay. As I've already mentioned, there was 247 responses to the generic teacher courses, meaning those curricular support as well as the non-curricular aspects. But seeing that we are limited to a certain number of courses in term 1, in term 2, and in term 3, we could only select so many out of all those that were requested. These were the most requested ones. You will see that in term 1, teachers have already decided that we would have to have a course on developing values in the classroom, which is going to be a 2 times 2 hour course, which will speak closely to the course that we are going to be doing, which focuses on discipline at school level with the SMTs. Okay, so both those courses will be done. One for the teachers, which is that one. Then we'll also do one that focuses on our responsibilities as SMTs. Okay. Then also another request was on reading for understanding, which has to do mainly with comprehension. This was mainly raised, particularly seeing that quite a significant number of learners are English second language speakers. Okay. And particularly at grade 4, they struggle with comprehension when it comes to particularly English as a language of teaching and learning. Okay. For the majority of subjects from grade 4. So we will be having a course on that, which will be a 2 times 2 hour course. Then also, teachers have also requested for differentiation and alternative assessment, which also speaks to something that we have raised for the SMT course under classroom management. So then teachers will receive support with regards to that and how to get that coming alive in the classroom. Then SMTs will receive support with regards to that, with regards to how to manage that at school level. Okay. Then another one that was requested was one on formal assessment tasks and moderation, which again speaks to what we have come up with as the SMTs. Remember, moderation was one of the bold aspects. But with regards to this one, remember with SMTs, we said we'll infuse it under leadership, under the leadership course. But with teachers, we will try to get the specific facilitators of specific subjects to actually consider doing a course on formal assessment for that specific subject in that particular phase. Okay. So some subjects will have it, some subjects unfortunately may not have it. We can only fit so much within our program. We know that there is quite a dire need out there. Okay. And we acknowledge that. Then another course that we will definitely be doing is curriculum and time management. Again, that's quite interesting because it speaks quite closely to a course that we have requested under classroom management as school management. So teachers will receive that from the classroom implementation level, and SMTs will receive this from the school management level and how to support the team within the school. Okay. Then term 3, we'll have learner support now focusing on interventions. Remember in term 2, we'll focus on differentiation and alternative assessment. Term 3 will do interventions, which again is something that has came up within the most requested aspects. Then another one is going to be strategies for managing traumatized and or bullied learners. With the pandemic, unfortunately, we are seeing quite a lot of learners responding in subtle ways, and sometimes we struggle to find out why are learners behaving in such a way. One of the reasons could be it's because some of those learners are actually traumatized. But then we focus more on getting them to sit still, to keep quiet, but we are not addressing the root cause of them fidgeting in the classroom, etc. So we'll have a course on that with the teachers. Then also, there was a request on creative writing and presenting, which we'll invite all the teachers to. Okay. So those were some of the most requested curricular support as well as non-curricular topics. Then how about curricular support? I'll briefly share with you, are there any questions on the generic teacher courses that were requested by the teachers? Before I share the curricular topics that were requested. You can unmute your microphone. I see we've got a comment in there. Or somebody saying leadership, include goal setting. Yes, we have put goal setting in there. Delegating, we'll put delegating in there. Delegating. Then coaching and mentoring. Okay, this is going to be quite a rich course with quite a lot to cover. Coaching and mentoring. All right. Then with regards to mentoring, for those who came to that mentoring course, we have not forgotten about you. It's been quite a hectic time, but we will be finalizing on the reviewing those policies that you put together. You should expect to receive them within the next 2 weeks or so, definitely before the end of November. Okay. There we go. We apologize for the delay. Then having mentioned that, I will put up the other slide to quickly share with you the curricular topics that were requested. Within these last 15 minutes, we only have 15 minutes left. So just to give you the overall view, the survey covered maths, grade R to 3, grade 4 to 7, English, grade 1 to 3, grade 4 to 7, isiXhosa, grade 1 to 3, grade 4 to 7, natural sciences and technology, grade 4 to 6, natural sciences, grade 7, then life skills, beginning knowledge, grade R to 3. It had also covered social sciences, geography, as well as technology grade 7. But the requests were not as overwhelming and convincing enough for us to put funding towards geography and technology. For example, last year we had some courses for technology that had 2 teachers in a course. It became the cost to benefit ratio did not balance. So with even lower requests this year, we then had to make an executive decision to say, with the request that came in, the cost to benefit ratio then does not really balance. Maybe it's not worthy to do a course on those 2 subjects in 2022, but we'll park it until we do it again. We do a survey in 2022 for 2023. Then we may bring it back based on the number of requests that come forward. But then Zorina, being the philanthropic person she is still trying to motivate why we should still go ahead and have a course in geography, as well as have a course in technology, despite the low number of requests. We are still going to discuss that at our strat planning. Okay, but we cannot promise anything with regards to geography and technology as yet. Okay, then just to give you a glimpse as to what are the kind of courses that the teachers requested support on, we have about 13 minutes left. We are quite on time. So I'll quickly run through this. Forgive me that I'll have to go through it at a fast pace, but we will be sharing these with you so that as we plan for 2022, you've got something to say. In our school improvement plan, we had said that we were struggling with this and we need support with this. Then here is an opportunity to support us get to achieve ABCD. So you would have the list of all those. We will share these with you. Okay. But I'll quickly run through this. So the generic topics for foundation phase and InterSen, I've already shared that. Life skills, beginning knowledge. Term 1, it's stuff to do with healthy living. Term 2 is stuff to do with keeping my body safe, weather, recycling, and all that. Then term 3, it's going to be space, pollution, health, environment, etc. Then term 4, it's going to be dinosaurs, picture maps, etc. And it was quite a good number of responses with 109 out of 247 who actually requested for support on those. Then maths as well, foundation phase. They asked for term 1, it's going to be South African money. Then term 2, teaching multiplication. Teaching multiplication. Then term 3, time. Term 4, equal sharing leading to fractions. Then isiXhosa, there's going to be a workshop on ukuphulaphula nokuthetha. In term 2, there's going to be a workshop on ukufunda nokubukela. Then term 3, there's going to be a workshop on ukubhala. Then we don't do workshops in term 4. For life skills, the term 4 course is going to be done in term 3, but with term 4 content. Okay. Then with English, we do English first additional language, but English home language teachers can also attend. Then they can use they can pull out what they can use within their English home language teaching. So there is listening and speaking with specific aspects identified. There is reading and viewing with specific aspects identified. There is writing with specific aspects identified. There's no course in term 4. Okay. Then grade 4 to 7, maths, there's been aspects identified. We're here to put these into the relevant terms. There's course on division, multiplication and construction of angles, exponents, common fractions, probability, conversions involving length, algebraic language and expressions, calculations and problem solving involving capacity and volume, There is conversions involving perimeter, area, and volume, exponents, tessellations, geometric patterns, numeric patterns, then conversions and calculations involving mass. We are yet to put those into terms. Then there's NST, term 1, there's those topics, term 2, on life and living, term 2, there's those topics on metamaterials for each grade. Then term 4, term 3, there's energy and change. Then for term 4, some of these courses will be done in term 3. Okay. Then for technology, unfortunately, as I've already mentioned, none due to the reason stated. Geography, unfortunately, none due to reason stated, unless if we support Zorina eventually to say, even though there was limited responses, let's take the chance and still go ahead. isiXhosa, those are the topics which were requested. We'll share these with you. English, those were the topics that were requested. We'll share these with you. Then basically those are the subject content and methods courses that were requested. As we mentioned earlier on, our courses are more activity-based. Our courses are done in such a way that it's easier for the teacher to implement what they've learned from the course in the classroom. And also, we do share how to make resources from accessible materials. Okay. Then coming to the last part, are there any questions with regards to teacher courses that we have shared? You can unmute your microphone.
So we want to emphasize that all this information will be emailed to you to review with your staff as you plan your SIP for next year, so that you can do your allocations quite early. Novosti will sit and do the innovation planning course dates. So we'll be able to put dates to the courses and send the information to you as soon as possible. We know you are getting into your planning phase for 2022.
Okay. And we want to say PSP is here to actually support you through 2022. Okay. We have taken your voices into consideration, and we will plan for 2022 based on what you have requested and what teachers have requested. Okay. Then coming to the last, we are wrapping up for this session. All right, there we go. So, what's next? Where to from here? So, we are done with reviewing our draft school improvement plans, and we see that there is quite a significant number of aspects that teachers have already brought forward as aspects to be considered for teacher courses for next year. Then also today, we have also identified aspects that we as SMTs would need support with in 2022. Now, step 2 will be for us as the SMTs to go back to our schools. We sit with our teams. Then we align our needs as per the school improvement plans. We align those to the support that PSP is going to be offering towards professional development in 2022. Okay. Then step 3. Now, before 2020, in 2019, going backwards, we used to make it standard that a school has to make a contribution of 1,200, it was 1,200 rands in 2019 for them to be able to participate in our workshops. But then things changed. The pandemic changed everything. As a result, from 2020, we haven't made it to be requisite for schools to actually make that contribution of 1,200. We have left it open to say, you know what? As schools, you do have a budget towards professional development. Please do consider that PSP is a non-governmental organization which mainly relies on donor funding and fundraising. But if your school wants to actually assign that budget which you have for professional development and make a contribution up to 1,200 rands, it can be 200 rands that you want to contribute. It can be 500 rands that you want to contribute. It can be 1,000 rand that we want to contribute, or it can be 1,200 rands that we contribute. As PSP, we would appreciate that. As PSP, we have left it open to the schools. We understand the difficult times schools have to operate under, particularly taking into consideration the reduced budgets, etc. But then we're also leaving it entirely up to you as the school management teams and the schools to also say, you know what, PSP has already given an arm and a leg for us. Perhaps we can also make our contribution to them by making a contribution of so much. Okay, sorry, I hadn't marked my slides. I think somebody took control by mistake. I'm going to put up those slides again. Just give me a moment. All right, while the slides are still loading. So we leave it entirely up to you to make that decision to say, as a school, to give a helping hand towards PSP so that PSP can continue supporting us. We will make a contribution of so much. Now, I will be sharing with you our contact details. So you can call us. I will be sharing our contact details within the next slide. You can call us and request for our banking details. Or you can go to our website to, you'll get our banking details there, but please do call our office to confirm if it is the correct banking details, because nowadays, unfortunately, we are living in a digitally advanced world. And as a result, scammers and fraudsters are also taking advantage by manipulating systems and all that. We will confirm if it's the correct account number, or else you can request it directly from us over the telephone. Okay. Then step 4 will be for us to encourage teachers to attend the courses. But most importantly, please encourage them to book prior to attending each course. The booking link will be provided in the programs or in the email invitation or reminders, or in the SMS reminder or invitation, just like there was on the invite that you received last week, okay, for this course. Then number 5, please start making note of any identified areas of support for 2023 as you go through 2022. Okay. So that next year, when we come to a similar session again, you already have your notes, which contributes towards your school improvement plans as well, etc. It will make the process quite a whole lot easier. Then having said that, we only have 1 more minute. Okay, somebody took control again by mistake. All right, anyway, that's okay. There is 1 more slide that we need to share with you. I'll have to put, you would need to put up your volume for this one. It's a closing message from us. All right, assuming that your volume is sorted, I'll play the video. It's just about 1 minute long. All right. Who would have guessed that the COVID-19 pandemic could bring positives? Once faced with the pandemic, the main challenge for the PSP was, how could we remain in contact with teachers and learners and still support them safely in this very difficult and traumatic time? PSP then managed to respond proactively and took all our activities online through Microsoft Teams. Despite all the teething problems we faced along the way, we found that we have actually been able to reach more teachers in this way from across all provinces. On behalf of PSP, we thank you, colleagues. That is, teachers, principals, HODs, subject heads, and all your learners for being part of the PSP family. Your enthusiastic engagement has been the reason that the PSP team look forward to coming to work, knowing that we are still making a difference. We are blessed to be working with colleagues like yourselves. We look forward to organizing your selection of topics into an exciting program of courses for 2022 and partnering with you again in a new year. Stay safe and take care. Okay, we do not, there is a hand up from Nomakwezi Madongana. Please unmute your microphone and share. Nomakwezi Madongana. Nomakwezi Madongana. Oh, okay, she put her hand down. Maybe it was a mistake. All right. Then having said that, there is our contact details. That's our WhatsApp number. There is our telephone number. For the email address, with regards to courses and bookings, you can send an email to younger@psp.org.za. Then for banking details, etc., you can send an email either to younger@psp.org.za or you can just send it to info@psp.org.za. Okay. Are there any questions, colleagues, seeing that it is 27 minutes to, we are 3 minutes beyond our time. In the meantime, can you please turn on your cameras so that we can just take one last picture of the school management teams for 2021? Okay.
I know, Vosti, can you unshare your screen, please?
All right. Let me unshare. Thank you, Younger. All right. Then you can take screenshots for us, Younger.
And yes, from all of us at PSP, wishing our school management teams a productive end to 2021. But in fact, you know, colleagues, I just want to say goodbye to 2021. 2022 cannot come. I've just had enough of this year. So, you know, with the challenges we've experienced, and I'm sure you can relate, there's lots of ups and downs and amazing challenges that have never happened before. So we want to wish you everything of the best. We want to wish you a restful holiday. Make some time for yourself. You deserve it. You've been through a roller coaster ride, and God bless. And we look forward to seeing you in 2022.
Thank you, Zorina, and thank you, colleagues. Please remain as resilient and as driven as you've been in 2020, 2021. It's been quite a difficult time to live and lead, but here we are. You have managed to keep our school standing, and all thanks to you.
And remember, the schools can't continue without you. You're doing an amazing job. Even though we're saying it to you, you're doing an amazing job. You're just keeping the children in schools, and you are there every day, and you're trying your best. And if nobody else tells you that, at least PSP is telling you that.
All right. Okay. This marks the end of our session. Thank you once again for joining us this afternoon, colleagues. We will be.
Thanks a lot, Vosti.
Okay.
Thanks,
Don't forget to
Zorina.
sign the register.
Okay.
Don't forget to sign the register.